let me say a blessed and good Tuesday morning to one and all. It's the second day of January within the year 2024. Should I say Happy New Year to one and all? Those of you who are viewing and listening Classic Radio, welcome to the first edition for 2024 of To The Point. Hope all is well with everyone this morning. You're up and about, you're feeling good. Thanks so much for tuning in to Classic Radio GBN TV. I'm your host, GT. I'll be around with you for the next hour. Yeah, and it's stemming to be an open line edition this morning. I have no guest popping with me this morning. Maybe I'll have a guest for the first week, I'm assuming, of this year. But so forth, we will flow with the open line edition this morning. So once again, good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio. Whether you're listening to 105.5, 105.9, good morning to you. Those of you listening to GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channels 20, good morning to you also. All the best. Those of you via our social media platforms, whether it's the Facebook page, the YouTube channels, good morning. Don't forget, you have the options of getting in touch with me this morning to make your contribution. What's up with you for 2024 thus far? What are your plans? If you are individuals who are into the resolutions and so forth, are you like that individual like that? And you kick into it directly on the first day of the year? Or there are individuals who may let the first month run out a wee bit, maybe the second Monday, folks who started from the middle of the year. Let's hear from you this morning, how your year started for you. Suddenly, I would love to hear from you. 435-2041, that's the number to get in touch with me. Let's grab our first caller this morning. And good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Morning, GT. Happy New Year to you. I hope that this year will be one of your most productive and interested year.
I will.
And I'm also wishing the same thing for the listening audience and viewers.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How are you doing this morning? And Happy New Year to you also, sir.
Yeah, thank you also. Thank you. There's so many things that we could start off the year with.
Yes.
But I would try to narrow it down to a few. One of the things I would really hope that we could become a more listening people and less barking people. We bark a lot and we don't listen a lot. So we don't learn. So I hope that we could become a greater listening, and it's a phenomenon too, a worldwide phenomenon. But it seems as though it's even more acute among our people.
All right.
So if we could just have a little patience, step back, and allow people to be who they are, rather than trying to shape them who we want them to be. And you see that all the time, even on your program when people call in and this person's asking too long and blah, blah, blah. So we need to, and then also they try to do your work too. You have I think you're intelligent enough to know when to limit a person and so on. But people tend to back. Anyway, this is one. The other thing is that I hope that we could take an interest in reading, learning new things, learning new aspect of ourselves, new way of seeing old things that have kept us in prison. So that is it. And in that respect, I hope the authority and the general population will do everything to accelerate the return of the library, the public library.
All right.
I know some people would think, well, we don't need a library anymore, and there was a leader who voiced that we don't need a library because we have technology. Although I think that is foolishness, but we need to work together collectively, especially in the 50th year of our celebration of our independence. I know that's another topic that people would say we're not independent, but it's a relative consideration. Anyway, and the other thing about it is that, and this is my pet peeve, since you've been on to the point, is that we have to take a more responsible approach to disaster and other issues related to that. I said a few months ago that it is predicted that in January we will get a higher amount of rain than normal. I hope that we will be mindful of that and prepare for that, unlike what happened in the latter part of December when that rain came there all of a sudden and we didn't even know what to do because we didn't prepare for such eventuality. So I would urge people to get involved in NADMA in whatever way we can so that we can support that. We don't have to wait until June to start scrambling. People must know what to do, when to do, where to go, and that kind of thing. And we have to have some simulation exercise. Couple with that. We need to strengthen organizations in Grenada that is for the welfare of the general good of people. Most of the organizations have been weakened over the years, especially by the former regime, whether it's trade union, NGOs, and even the government system have been decimated. So we need to strengthen all the institutions that would help to make for the peace and stability and also the prosperity of our country. I wouldn't start to provoke people's anger, so I will stop here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. As always a positive contribution somewhere or the other. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435. Let me say good morning to those of you via our social media platform. Let me say good morning to Erlene Alexander. Good morning to Sonia. Good morning to Offa. Good morning to Simone. And all you folks who are listening via social media audience, let me thank you so much for being with us this morning. Let's take our next caller and say good morning. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, and how are you today?
Doing pretty well, sir. How about you?
I hope, well, you had a wonderful holiday.
Pretty well. You, of course, getting into the new year.
No, but anyway, the first caller has raised a few points, and I tend to agree with him on some, while I disagree with him on others.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of, I will agree that the bashing of people, and I hope that would stop. Trust me, I've been singing that for last year. And I hope that, the idea of bashing, because everyone has his own right to his own view and his opinion. He may not be correct exactly at all times. However, I would like to say that I'm a little bit disappointed with the way the station ended off the year. I follow the program, the station, and especially 105.5. And on the last day, I did not get the prayers, I did not get the anthem, I did not get the whatnot, etc., as it should be, as it was accustomed to. And there's one other thing I would like to say. I hope you're not going to be angry with me again, because the idea of the last day, Friday it was, when a lady called, she was the last caller at program, to the point. And she was so inspirational with her prayers. And unfortunately, you ended it off by asking her to take another 10 seconds and call it off. No, I think probably you should have given her the time, even though it was
are you saying that I didn't give her time? She was on for more than 4 minutes, sir.
It was time, but you still tried to tell her to take another 10 or so seconds.
All right. Well, I guess I can't please everyone, but I think I gave her ample time, and before she even started, I said, please make it short.
Well, what I'm saying is, the fact is, prayers and inspiration, and that's what the island, or not just the island, but the whole world.
But sir, to the point, is not a religious program, and we give people the option of calling and they say their prayers from time to time, but it's not a program that gives religious instruction. So I'm still trying to get where you're going at. Anyway, sir, 435-2041, 435-2041. It's to the point this morning here on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9. It's our first edition for the year, and good morning to all. Good morning to the folks via social media platforms. Good morning to Antonio. Good morning. Happy New Year to you also. Good morning to all who have logged in thus far. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, sir. How are you today, Titi?
Not too bad. Good morning to you.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you, sir.
It's your right, and if you're crossing the time and you have, everybody have.
I don't want to getting into a back and forth about that this morning. It's irrelevant to a point.
I like to say that I would like that the police, the commissioner of police, not only clamping people's vehicle in Grenville. You have a lot to clamp in St. George. Mm-hmm. All the way by Hubbard's, people parking on the sidewalk, right to the sidewalk where you have to walk, and back by Food Fair, people parking on the corners, Grandlands area, and Belmont, they parking on the sidewalk. I would like to see the police start doing the work. Also, by CKs, sometimes you see 3 wardens stand up there, 2 wardens and a police. And people crossing, every minute somebody cross and holding up traffic. And the wardens not doing anything. They should have the wardens there to stop people and make them bank up a certain amount of people and they cross. Instead of as you try to drive somebody cross, or you try to drive against somebody cross, I think the government stand up, they're doing nothing. They should have them doing something. Right. Also, again, I would like to see that for the new year, that all buildings should have names again, numbers, like long time ago. So if you're going and do something, directly, instead of you have to ask the next neighbor or which neighbor, who is living in this building and who is living in that building. Because if we go international way, like how they're making it vehicles park in town and they put back the traffic light, let's do the same thing. Like when you go in the States, Canada, some of the places, you don't have to ask because you've seen the number of the buildings. So I like for the new year that they could do that. Also, they could join with the big companies like Hubbard's and Real Value, all of them that doing delivery. Also, some of the big things, and get them to help so they could put numbers on those buildings, which make everybody's life easier. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution also, and something you did made a whole lot of sense. Good morning to you. Hey folks, it's to the point this morning here, Classic Radio, and the gentleman talk about in terms, we hope that the authorities, especially the police and so forth, the traffic department, look into the traffic issue this year for 2024, have it rectified for some to a point. You may not get it fully taken care of 100%, but if you could rectify the illegal parking, the traffic obstruction and so forth, if that could be really dealt with, the issue that the gentleman spoke with pertaining to the traffic wardens, we see multiple of them, or more than one of them, if standing at one particular point, if they could have them, deal with traffic situations in a much better way, would make life a whole lot easier for everyone. We do have another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and welcome. I welcome everyone to a blessed and happy time for this country. God has kept us well in 2023. I want to suggest two things. One, that we continue to remove the vehicles people dump by the road.
All right.
We have to do that. The thing I think we better say is consistency. You see it start and then like nothing happen again and people start doing it again. The other thing is I want to suggest that we cut overhangings over our roads. I'm not talking about how the people do the cleaning by the road. I'm talking about like a lot of branches hanging over our roads. In fact, there are some areas where it's actually dark because of the trees, the overgrown branches are hanging over our roads. There are a number of bucket trucks, so to speak, that can be used to do that, but for the cleanup and for the celebration, if we can just clean over, I'm tired with the painting of the red and thing, and if it's not that, the red, green and thing, if that isn't done properly, look kind of tacky. So the black and white is doing well, but we should not just focus on this painting, but just cleaning the overhangings of our roads. If you drive around Grenada, you'll be surprised to see, even going to go off, there are bamboo. The trees are on way outside, but the all overhangs over the roads.
And that would certainly help in the deterioration of the roads also.
Absolutely, because the overhanging cause lally and all them things.
Yeah, and the roads don't take longer to dry and so forth, so they understand.
Right. So if you can just do that, it will certainly immediately, and that's not an expensive exercise.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. All the best to you. And certainly hope you have a great day thus far. 435-2041, 435. It's 14 minutes after the hour this morning here on Classic Radio. It's to the point, an open line edition. And good morning to all of those of you who are listening to us this morning. Those of you who still haven't gotten out of the festive mood thus far as yet. Yeah, you're still thinking Christmas. You're still thinking the end of year celebration. I've spoken to one individual this morning and they seem to be in that particular mood still. Anyway, all good for you, man. Good morning and welcome. Happy New Year.
Good morning, GT. How are you doing? Happy New Year.
Thank you so much and same to you. Hope you're doing okay this morning.
All right. Yes, man. I want to speak a little on farmers. GT, some of the farmers are suffering badly in this country. And not only with the produce. I had a conversation with a young farmer over the weekend. And that man is only cry. You could cry when you hear his story. The man had to order his pump quite in China. And China fittings is different to Grenada fittings. So when this pump reach here, you have to spend some money to change the fittings. Sometimes when you finish the pump, we cost 7,000. When you finish with to set up everything, over 10,000. And these thieves and them will go and cut out all the fittings and things to get that pump. He understand that when they thief this thing, they sell it to people in St. Vincent. So when they go with it now, you have no trace, nothing on that. And this is so sad. So sad when a young man spend all this money to work his land, GT, and these people and them come and rob him like that. That is only to kill your spirit and don't want to do farming again.
Understand.
And next thing he said that he experienced that nobody don't tell him that. He quoted one of the thieves. They charged the thief $2,000. And you know, nothing out of this $2,000 he had to get. For he to get something now, he had to go back and value all the produce and do another charge and everything to get compensation. Come on, why the farmers have to go through all this stress? I find if they charge the thief $2,000 and the government, and I think it's the government that getting that money. And when I listen to that story, I feel the government achieving more from the thief than the farmers. Because if this 2,000 go into the government and the owner of the land, the farmer have nothing to get, tell me something that is right, even though the government has to get.
Well, I certainly think some of the compensation do come to the individual who
well, no, the guy said nothing goes to him, nothing. This $2,000 they charge the guy. He said, I'm telling you, somebody tell me that happened to me, I experienced that. So when he questioned it, they tell him, no, you have to go and evaluate what it lost and everything, and then something, because they say that is the produce. That would never be fair for a farmer.
All right. That's something that probably could be looked into.
Not only the goods, the pump, and that's a big loss for the farmers. So I don't know, something drastic. I feel they have to give these boys and them more, either charge them more money or keep them in jail more long.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a great day yourself.
All right.
435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number if you want to be part after the point this morning. Matter of fact, we due for a break. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we entertain more of your calls here onto the point this morning. Stay with us. Don't touch your dial.
Grenada. Celebrate Christmas and New Year with the NLA's exciting You Must Win promotion. Spend $15 or more in a single ticket purchase on Daily Pick 3, Daily Cash 4, or Playway, and just like that, you have chances to win prizes valued at over $100,000. Winning is easy. Simply check your tickets for the words "You won," free cash, free phones, free tablets, or free Instacash tickets. But wait, that's not all. You can also win free raffle entries for chances to win not one but 2 cars in NLA's You Must Win promotion. Promotion runs December 1st, 2023 to January 31st, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 18 and over to participate. The NLA, making your Christmas and New Year dreams come true.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to the point for today, Tuesday, the 2nd day of January within the year 2024. It's an open-line edition this morning. Let's go back to the phone line, take another caller within this segment. Good morning to you, caller, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, GT. I want to wish you and all your followers all the best for 2024. As I said to some folks, I wish you all that you wish yourself and more for 2024, because sometimes, many times, all the time, God in His wisdom knows more of what we need.
So true. So true.
Ourselves. So after we've asked for all we think we want, he steps in and he gives us what we need and we didn't ask for.
Exactly.
So I wish everybody just that blessing. It seems as though we had a relatively safe and peaceful holiday season over the 2 weeks.
I was actually saying that to someone this morning.
Yes,
no major incidents I've heard of.
Suspected suicide, but it's sad for that family. But all in all, I think we have to be very grateful. When you look at the amount of traffic and the number of events there were, and in the news this morning, we have heard of nothing major. Thank God for that. And let's hope that we try to work together and look forward and do our part in enabling this year to be a very, very safe and wonderful one as we look forward to the 50th anniversary of our independence. Now, one thing I heard one of your callers, the first caller, mentioned about the rain in January. And I'm not one of those who is against who denies there is climate change. I believe there is. But we have to be careful that we don't attribute everything to climate change. January rain is a norm. All farmers look forward to rain in January. But if the dry season starts from January, we're in problems. And as a matter of fact, most January mornings are usually wet. And the farmers will tell you they welcome those morning showers every January. When it doesn't happen, we're at a disadvantage. So if we have rain in January, it is not an unusual phenomenon. It is what we need and what we expect. So let's not think that once it rains in January, it is climate change or it's a strange phenomenon we have to be worried about. But let's be always prepared. Have a wonderful day and hopefully a good year.
You too, sir. Have a good one yourself. Have a perfect one. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's take a comment from someone via the WhatsApp this morning. In this individual, I would like to agree with the last caller, especially going down the White Gun area. It's really bad with these overhanging branches. When you're driving, you have to swing away from these branches. Certainly agree with that contribution there also. And he's also saying that Glen is also not taking care of the overhanging branches touching the wires. And they need to do a better job of that. Let's go back to the phone line, entertain another caller. Caller, good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, JT. Looking back from the news of 2023, right, it is evident that Pretty Alasni dominated the airways. Mm-hmm. And I think it's ample time that the authorities look at it, that it's like an emergency right now for us. If we have to go forward, the government is talking about transformation and those sort of things. We have to look at the sort of laws and those sort of things so that governs people who are caught in the act of pre-alasni and so on, how to adjust it and how to deal with those issues. Because as I said, we see what was happening for 2023 with everybody complaining who lose a goat, they call a sheep, and some people even lose their life in the process.
You think that the penalties are too lenient, maybe to a point? Well, that was folks think, well, they could probably do it because of the leniency of the penalty that is involved.
And I'm saying we have to put away the reactionary measures and put solid plans in place to deal with this thing going forward, because we will be able to inspire a next generation to get into agriculture. With all the talk, it will only be old talk if we cannot inspire the next generation into agriculture, because when they look at it, all they see is hard work and no result.
All right.
The government have to look at it seriously.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Have a good day yourself. 435-2041. And I was saying to the caller, probably the reason why Pretty Alasni continues to the level that it's at could be the leniency of the penalties that's involved. Yeah, I guess 2 months in jail, or I'm asked to pay a fine or something of the sort, and then I come back on and do it again. Could be the reason or reasons behind that. But maybe if the penalties are a little bit more stringent, it could make a whole lot of difference. Caller, good morning and welcome and Happy New Year to you.
Hello.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, sir. As far as I'm concerned, if we make the penalty much more serious by parading these keys, then it will be less speedy and lasting would take place.
I agree.
Some people know who steal these animals, and yet for can't come up to say ISA because they would stand the consequence. Maybe the police or the authorities may go and say, who say? Yes, it's true that we want evidence in the court. But let the people defend themselves in the court to prove that they didn't animal the animals. I find it's rampant or it's stupid stealing people's property. But it might be advantageous to those who steal it because they have a very market for these goods. But people who buying these goods should be punished seriously for them to stop stealing. Furthermore, in the holidays, please don't ask me how these holidays were. When you went, if you go to prison, sorry, when I say when you might believe it's you. When one goes to prison, it's likely he has to serve there with hard labor. They used to mine all sort of animals, goat, pigs, even turban flies too, at the prison. They used to give them stiff penalty. Nowadays, they have humanitarian talking about the human rights, where they have to get enough hours of sleep, rest, and perhaps telling them how much hours they have to work, maybe 4 hours or 3 hours per day. You didn't have any special time to work. Maybe you have to work through the whole day. So that would deter you from going into prison. Nowadays, when somebody thieves, he becomes a god because other people would buy from him and would help him to continue to steal. In fact, we say we are living in the modern days. Is this modern? I find the modern days is more ancient than the ancient days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution as well. Have yourself a good one. 435-2041. Open line this morning here on To The Point. Let me say good morning to, of course, Antonio. Antonio, good morning and all the best to you. All the best for 2024. And a comment here from Antonio this morning is, I happen to reflect back on 2023 and I have to give our administration A+ for doing so much in a short time, being in government and to the development of our little rock, including Carriacou and Petit Martinique. As we know, that yesterday was minimum wage the minimum wage takes effect, and that citizens are able to get an increase on their salaries, which will be a booster for the economy because we know when money is being put into the citizens' hand will be spent more, which will help the growth of the economy. Let's entertain another caller. We lost that caller there. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Let's see who we have on the line. Caller, good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Yes, thank you. Happy New Year to you and to all at GBN and also your listeners.
All right, thank you.
I am calling to support the fact that the government has to find the answer, which probably will take at looking at the laws, looking at the penalty for predial larceny. Because if the government is encouraging people to get into agriculture, then it is the government's responsibility to make it safe. For example, one man picking up his nutmeg, he rests down his bag of nutmegs there, and he gone to some other trees. By the time he turns around, that bag gone. That is very eerie because that means somebody was following him, somebody was watching him. I don't know why the farmers have stopped going to the gardens with the dogs, because in the past you would see a man going to his farm with his dogs, and the dogs would grumble and bark if somebody is around. So I don't know if they will get back to that. But some years ago, there was a man from a state, an African state, who came here on contract to show people how to make biogas and so on. And I remember him in the news saying that in the state where he is from, predial larceny is treated on par with murder.
All right.
Yes, he said the government is very, very serious in that African state. about pre-deal larcenies. No, pay $2,000 and think, no, you're getting similar penalty to murder. So let us now call on the government to come up with the answer to stop pre-deal larceny and not just leave it to keep bombarding the airwaves and in news. No, we want to move to a step further to solve that problem. It is not fair to the farmers, and they are doing what the government is encouraging them to do. Yes? Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution also, caller. 435-2041, 435-2041. We're looking at 30 minutes after 9 o'clock. We have just wrapped up the first half hour of the show, which means we drew for a break. Let's take it. Then we come back. More of your calls. Stay with us.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back to our online listeners and viewers. Also, those of you via our social media platforms, whether it's the Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. On to the point. Let's go back to the phone line. Saying good morning to, I guess we may have lost that caller there. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you, sir. How are you doing this morning?
I think I heard a call a while ago talking about hard labor.
Yes.
Well, I don't think custodial sentences now have any hard labor attached to it. I think it's some, what do you call these people again, but human rights, some human rights convention. I could be corrected. You cannot sentence somebody, to the best of my knowledge, for hard labor. As a matter of fact, the term jail, prisons to a certain extent, has been changed to correctional facilities.
Really?
And people who go there, having committed some crime or the other, they go there to be rehabilitated or corrected with their behavioral patterns. Well, I'm subject to correction, but I don't think you can be sentenced to hard labor like was done before and strokes and all of that. I think there have been some change in the thing with the Human Rights Association or some convention. I have a feeling Grenada signed on too.
All right.
But I'd like somebody to really,
Probably we could get somebody and probably, yes, and give you the direct information about that also. Thank you so much.
Man.
All right.
All the best.
Take it easy. 435-2041. That's interesting. That's interesting. And would you say, folks, our listeners and viewers, with that new convention that for the human rights and so forth, has it made a difference at all? Would you think to yourself and say, has it made a difference? No way folks are not given that hard labor and stuff when they do commit crimes and so forth. Has it actually made a difference in that individual? Has they really rehabilitated that individual also? Let's go back to the phone line. Lost that caller there again. 435-2041, 435. And we have someone via the Facebook page saying, caller, you are so right about that. And that pertaining to that issue that you spoke about. Let's go back to the phone line. Let's see if we have that caller. We don't have that caller. I'm seeing an individual calling in. Every time I engage, I lose them for some reason. I'm not sure why. Let's try it again. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hello.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. The thing about it, prison become like a playhouse right now. You sentence a man to prison, you will hear, man, me working for Babylon for this and me working for Babylon for that. They have an attitude towards prisoners to find the prison. And if the prisoners try to correct them, they might end up with hitting somebody and bleeding. If the police to them, they start to talk about, well, you're going against my rights and them kind of thing. These people and them in prison. They're not supposed to be in prison. They're supposed to be somewhere else. I can't find out where the place is, but they will find the place to put them.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Thank you for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. That's a number. You could also add that number to your WhatsApp contacts, and you can your contact list, I should say. And you can send me a message via the WhatsApp. Also, feel free to also send your message via the Facebook, of course, comment section. Feel free to do that also. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Morning. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. Happy New Year to you, ma'am. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, and I want to wish you and all the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pretty Martinique, this beautiful Tribe Island state, year full of peace, joy, happiness, but most of all tolerance. Because when people contribute, it's probably something that's affecting them, and so people shouldn't bash them. We should remember, everybody, including myself, don't be libelous, hurt people, and be respectful, because we're all entitled to our opinion. So I want to wish everybody a healthy, happy New Year's for 2024. But I want to just zero in on something, the issue of this either decriminalization, which is different to legalization of marijuana. Now, I'm not against the industry, because apparently it will appear to me, because I'm not no expert, before people jump on the back, but it appears to me that marijuana, the plant, which is a herb as far as I'm concerned, does have some medicinal qualities, because I've heard of people with asthma. You drink marijuana roots, and I heard about, how you call it, seizures. And one or two things. So it does have medicinal properties that we should explore. And it's just sad that Grenada is a little bit far behind, because I was listening to something the other day. I think St. Lucia and St. Kitts and all these areas, St. Vincent, these people are far advanced. So probably we should think, not just talk, but get into the marijuana business seriously for this But also I want to warn the government against, if they say they're legalizing it, I don't know, because we have to look and see what the laws are, because it has to be properly regulated. I'll ask the government to not let people smoking. JT, I can't. Smoking, while I might agree with the industry, because it may bring economic benefits for Grenada, because I don't hope people just come in, big investors come in and exploit people, take we land and give us very little for it, because once we open up that industry, people are already, investors come in and they might exploit us, and we get nothing. So the government has to guard against that in terms of putting the respective legislations. But I want to still zero in terms of smoking. I can't support that under no conditions, whether it's marijuana and whether it's other cigarettes. Because whenever you look on a packet of a cigarette, they always say what the surgeon said it's harmful and it should be encouraged. So I'm urging the government. I'm not against the development of the marijuana or cannabis industry, but not for smoking. Because I understand a lot of people saying they're glad, because they have at the back of their mind that it's for recreational purposes, and they would smoke here and there and anywhere. As a matter of fact, if I had my way, I would ban all smoking in public places. If you want you to take the risk against what the surgeons advise and you want to smoke it, you could smoke in your house. Generally, everybody knows that smoking is not good, so I'm asking the government not marijuana for smoking. You could develop the industry that has potential, but I say no way to the smoking of marijuana. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning, and positive one indeed. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number. If you want to get on the program this morning, make your contribution. It's an open line. Our first edition of To The Point for the year 2024. And looking at some of the comments of some folks are saying jail in Grenada is like a vacation trip for some reason or the other. That's what someone is mentioning this morning. Let's take another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning and Happy New Year to you, sir. Oh, ma'am.
Good morning. Of Christ blessedly happy 2024 to you too, and a productive one indeed. Well, really glad that the last caller called in about the marijuana, especially I will not say much or anything about asthma because it's not something I'm familiar with personally. But certainly as an epileptic, and there are those who have been actually told, and I was once told myself, about trying to smoke marijuana along with my medication that I take for what we call fits here in Grenada.
Yes.
And the thing with that is I am just appealing to epileptics. Never, ever do anything, add anything, subtract anything from what has been prescribed for you for a critical condition, a chronic condition like epilepsy or fits. What is done really with marijuana, for whom it has proved somewhat successful, is an enzyme is extracted from a certain grade of marijuana. I'm not even sure that we grow the grade here. That is subsequently mixed with other substances and very slowly tried on the epileptic in question. It's been found to be most successful. And interestingly enough, I've heard girls, female epileptics around the age of 8 years old. But remember, this is the drug, including something from cannabis, an extract from a stalk of a certain grade of it. So as the caller has rightly said, and I'd just like to back her up very strongly, this is not about lighting up a spliff, and seeing what effect it can have on you. In fact, it could do more harm than good. And again, remember, I've been speaking about epilepsy.
All right.
Just before anyone thinks of jumping on my case kind of thing.
All right, bud. Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much.
Continue to have a wonderfully blessed New Year.
And the same goes out to you. All the best. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number if you want to be part of To The Point this morning. We're looking at 18 minutes climbing before the 10 o'clock hour. Time is on the move this morning. And we're going to have a pretty short January for some reason now. I'm getting that feeling. 435-2041. That's the number. Let's take a couple of the comments once again. Once again via the Facebook page. We have Marilyn is saying Grenada is not behind marijuana. Is Grenada age just is marijuana is in Grenada's age, just that it's not in Grenada's age, just as it's not publicly used because it's not legal. But they're in Grenada public, they're in Grenada's public or private. You can stop the smoking. It's very hard to do. Hope I have sort of got the information she's trying to bring out as clear as possible. Let's take another comment this time from Antonio. He said last year we heard about the many project that has been completed and ongoing by the new administration, even though some of them they were secured by the last administration. As we know, government is the continuum, and last year we heard that the last administration is saying that it was their project and not the new administration. I would like them to know that when loans or grants being given to Grenada, it is our country development and not about who gets the money for the project, but for Grenada. All right. Anything else I could throw there before we entertain? My bad for having the phone disengaged. And we have this comment from Alison. She's saying, I think that Grenada and Grenadian should focus more on nutmeg plantations, and which is more needed now all over the world for medical purpose. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's take a quick look at the WhatsApp. Let me see if there's any bit of information we need to throw there before we continue with the phone calls. Happy New Year to you and the staff. In some countries, stealing and rape is a crime, and the penalty death. Sometimes villagers beat them to death. That should be done here also. I'm not sure if I could agree with you on that. Let's take another comment once again. This time, before we go back to the phone. Good morning, Mr. And they wanted to know what the number you saw to the point. Well, to the point, what number is the same? It's 435-2041. You could add it to your WhatsApp, 435-2041. And just as you sent me that message via the WhatsApp, that's the same number we use on air. But we're not taking calls on air with the WhatsApp. That will still be happening during the course of the year. 435-2041. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, good morning, boss.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm a loyal listener. I've been listening to the program for years, even before you come on the program, right? Mm-hmm. And considering this marijuana thing, I could tell the nation, I smoking ganja now over 48 years, and I'm 62. Right? Mm-hmm. I personally, whether it's legal, illegal, I will still smoke marijuana. It will make a difference to me whether it's legal or illegal. But it's like everything else. You have cigarette, you have rum, you have all kind of things that is legal, and they have rules and regulation. And I agree with some of the rules and regulation concerning cigarette, where you could smoke it, where you could drink rum, what amount of rum, and so forth. If you drink and drive, you could get charged. You're talking about nutmeg. Let me tell you something. Watch. If I personally legalize marijuana in Grenada here, I go say, well, look, for every one ganja tree you plant, you have to plant 10 nutmeg tree, or 10 golden apple, or 10 sugar apple, whatever it is. Right? Marijuana has been here since creation. God will create marijuana. Man didn't make that. Whether you smoke it, you drink it, or whatever it is, you eat it, is your choice. Everybody have a choice. So I don't know why they're running down this marijuana thing.
All right.
What are they running down for? What's the purpose?
All right, caller, thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Folks, we're due for a break, our final break on the program this morning. We come back with our final segment of the show after the break.
Men, unfortunately, are just delinquent in looking after their health.
Our health, our good health is our responsibility, not your wives or your doctors or anybody else. The wives will support you, but the buck stops with you. It's your life.
I encourage all our men, wherever you are in the Caribbean, to start getting your screening done, and hopefully the life you save might be your own.
Join us on Caribbean Medical TV right here on this station.
Vaccines protect you and they protect me. Getting vaccinated is one of the most important things you can do to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Once enough people are immunized, opportunities for an outbreak of disease becomes very low. And if we all choose to get vaccinated, we contribute in getting back to spending quality time with our loved ones in a safe way. Choose to get vaccinated. Vaccines bring us closer.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point, our final edition. Should I say our first edition, our final segment in the program this morning? Our final edition, my bad on that. Our first for 2024 and our final segment for today. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. We lost that caller there, 435-2041, 435-2041. And let's take a couple of the comments before we entertain another caller. We have Marilyn said, I don't smoke, but people are exaggerating marijuana and it's been used in abundance, but people seem to look at it as a bad, just my opinion. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning once again and Happy New Year.
Yeah, GT, I'm calling in response to a question you asked in relation to the prison and the human rights stuff. We say that we are part of the international community. We say that we are an enlightened nation. We say that we are a Christian nation. We need to ask ourselves, should we continue some of the practices that was unleashed on us from slavery, or should we find ways to regenerate or rejuvenate our society? And it requires a wider and deeper conversation, not just that, we reactive. As I think Peter Saw said, everybody's crying out for peace, nobody's crying out for justice. And it's when we address the bigger problems. For instance, what would cause, two individuals, one, they grew up in the same community. One would have a propensity towards crime and criminality or violence, and the other doesn't. And we need to look at these factors. We don't. We just react. I have seen in my own eyes that people have been destroyed from young. Children are being destroyed by bad parenting, by the fact that the society have fallen apart. We don't try to deal with that because this is hard work. The easier work is to lock up people and treat them bad and then let them come back and let them behave the same way. We have to find better ways. We have to ask ourselves, do we even need prisons? What about societies that find different way for infraction? When somebody do something wrong, that is not consistent with the value of the society, that they call the person and have the person face the whole society in a way where they would express remorse and an agreement that they wouldn't do the thing again. We are creating we are creating people who have no connection with each other. We are creating zombies. And we could only get zombies, the results of zombie behavior. So unless we really be able that we can look each other in the face and recognize the humanity of each other rather than being fearful. Two other things we communicate on a daily basis as a people: fear and anger. I hope that we could change that in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number if you want to get on To The Point this morning. Make your contribution. It's an open line edition, our first edition of To The Point for the year 2024. Today being the second day of the year thus far. Saying good morning to those of you who are listening via, of course, our social media platforms, the YouTube channel, Facebook page. Good morning. Interesting conversation with some of you via the Facebook page. And some of the comments I'm reading, but just not giving it out. Let me say good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Okay. I want to say, the mother, I have a son, and he used to be using the drugs, the marijuana, right? Now, they doesn't know how to use the marijuana, right? And I think they're abusing it. And now he got sick. And I know it's from that, the marijuana, and it reached to others, that he reached to that stage. So I am saying that is a lot of people don't know much about the marijuana, how to use it, how to go about it, right? Because people getting sick for it, their lungs are getting damaged, they cannot breathe, they have to be on oxygen, and they have to be on all kind of a thing. So I am against this drugs thing. I am against it. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435. Don't forget it's an open line this morning, which means individuals calling in have the option of sharing their views and opinion. We don't have a specific topic that we're dealing with on the program this morning. It's an open line, so you're free to call in and express your views and concerns. 435-2041, approximately 5 minutes left on today's program. You have that option of calling, or you can also send make a comment via the Facebook page or the WhatsApp. You can also do so. Let me check the WhatsApp if there's any contribution been made via the WhatsApp. I'm not seeing any new contribution thus far. Looking at the Facebook page also, any comment that is there that is worth throwing out. Let's go back to the phone line while I take a peek at the WhatsApp. Good morning to you, caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
I want to say Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Let's up everything for the nation. And I also like the topic we on, where we stick here right now on marijuana. And what I appreciate is so early in the year. The point is, I as a person who I used to grow marijuana. I used to sell marijuana. I used to smoke it not much. But the time when I used to do that, thing was really rough. I just lost my mother. I never really had a father more than Jesus Christ. I had a sperm donor. And after my mother gone, I had to scramble on my own. So, one guy, senior to me right now, still, and I'm 73, he's still a senior to me. He introduced me to marijuana and tell me, try this, it's good for me. Because I was a runner, and I had to run 2 days later from Sotier to Tong. And he encouraged me to smoke that, and I will perform better. I smoked this thing, and I came foot. But I do believe that if I didn't use that, I might have come higher in the race. No. I smoked marijuana once, and my girlfriend, which is my wife right now, was playing on the field. And it affected me, and I started to breathe short. And one of her friends on the field, who was next to me, called and said, look, your friend fighting to breathe. And she come, and then the fan man thing and recover. So I'm saying, marijuana, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what is the use for it. I wouldn't say it doesn't have any use, but I don't feel it make any sense to me, because the people who using it, I ain't seeing nothing good about them. And they ain't walking. They're walking in the street, and all they're doing lining by shop and things to get it. Even though they have money, they go thief to buy it. Legalizing this, right now, young people ain't walking. All them studying is this, and if you ain't walking, no. How when you legalize this thing? What they gonna do even though they go plant marijuana? What benefit you get for it? I had a friend, he died about a month, no, about 3 weeks ago, a month, anything like that. And he used to smoke. I used to smoke together with him. I stopped that long ago, I realized it ain't good. And he had asthma. And he smoked marijuana. I stopped and he continued. And he died from asthma. And he was using marijuana all the time. So I can't see no way along the line that marijuana is good for asthma. I don't believe it. And another thing is, since they say they're legalizing marijuana, people doing anything on the street with it. I could remember some time ago that the Rastafarian, it ain't legalized yet, But they was exhibiting marijuana, I think in the stadium some time ago. And the police came when they realized that and pulled up on them. And then they see there was apparently, we didn't get permission yet, but according to the discussion we had, we feel it was all right. And the police still leave them to continue. A couple of days ago, they were exhibiting ganja rum, ganja drinks and all them kind of chopping and cakes and all them kind of things. And it's still illegal. I think this is one thing. I'm a supporter of the NDC, and I will always be, because I ain't seen no other party better than them. But I feel the only thing I see the one thing in the juice is marijuana. I feel they should stop it. From since the Keith Mitchell administration talk about that, guns start to come in. And crime, plenty killing. And then NDC say they go continue that, and it's still happening. So once you're talking about marijuana and the legality of it, it's going to be more crime.
All right, call up.
Marijuana go with crime. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Hey, folks, it's straight up 10 a.m. in the studios here of course, Classic Radio and also GBN TV. I want to thank all who contributed to today's program, our first edition for 2024. Thank you so much, our viewers via our social media platforms. Thank you so much, and I certainly hope all is well. Join me again tomorrow. Tomorrow we have, of course, our guest and show with us tomorrow. Already have a heads up. We do have the Minister of Education will be with us tomorrow on To The Point. Stick around for that. Should be an interesting program tomorrow. All the best, folks. Have a good one. That's where we say goodbye, and best wishes once again.